It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? It's a neighborly day in the city world. A neighborly day for beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please, won't you be my neighbor? Hello everyone, it's Terry and it's Thursday. And I just kind of gave the plants in the greenhouse a rinse. Lightly, more mist. But I'm just going to do a bit of a walkthrough. These over here are my epidendrums. I really need to get the fungicide out because they do require a lot of water. This is not an epidendrum. This is my Cattleya, one of my Cattleya Forsyths. I'm going to sit this in case it gets a rest up here. Perfect. With all the other resting things. Okey-doke. So, pointing out, this is my Martiana, Brassavola Martiana, that was just recently mounted on that tree fern ball, and I do believe there are roots in there, which is great. This is my baby Phoenix Kona, which has never blown for me and has always struggled with me as far as scale is concerned. I do think I finally got it. This is my, I will always call it Brassavola, but newly acquired Aristocrat. It's over here where it should not be getting water. Should be dry. And, you know, I think I'm gonna move it right this minute as I say that, along with this one that's next to it. And eventually I'm gonna move that too, which is Walkeriana cross. But before I do that, I'm going to look at, that one should go too, because that's my Orchid Jungle, as well as this one, which is my Florida Stars, which could be, I know it has a sheath on it. And some of my other Brassavolas. There's a bud there. And there's the gag, which is a Vandopsis gigantea. And then here is my Cimbadella flabellata, which has continued to kind of decline. It's still being monitored. Down below here is this is my Johnsonii, and then on the other side here that I kind of want to point out is my Cattleya Iricolor. That is down in there. This is a new growth that I'm kind of hovering over. And there is another that is this year's season's growth. And I don't want to reach back there, but this right here is one of my Aranthes. I think this is Caudata. And then over here is my grandiflora, Aranthes grandiflora, which is putting up a nice new growth down there. Still has 3 spikes on it. And yeah, I'm gonna go continue to get rid of this plant. And then I'll come back down this way and finish the walk through. I'm gonna place my Digbyana on the other side, closer to the door, where it's cooler and relatively dry, except for an occasional misting from the fogger that I have. So I'm gonna just sit that there for now. But this one I'm gonna hang up high so its roots are still free as much as they can be, and that's that one, which is what does it say? Brassavila walkeriana, Little Stars times Perenniae. Okay, so and Cyclias back here, there might be a couple of Cattleyas, as is this right here, which is my Cattleyanthe confetti. And then I have some trichocentrums. This is my, I'm pretty sure that's Kukwat. And here is my Trichocentrum nanum crossed with Tigrina, and then this is my Lanceanum, which is a struggle. I have my other Trichocentrum, which is a Tigrinum. It's up there, hanging out, and that's actually where I'm going to hang my Digbyana, where it will get nothing but sun. And I might move my Rufa, which is right there down there, as well as my Iniguensis and the Oxypedala, so that they don't get wet. They don't like wet in the winter. That's a tip. And make sure you have them close to good air movement, either a fan, humidifier, something. What else? Oh, I was certainly going to point out this. I took this off of that big wooden raft, and this is my Prostechia marina, or Uchale marina. Still maturing that growth, which is really nice. And then last but not least, I have 2 of these. This is the one that I got from Andy's, which is Enobulbon munificum, and this will only really tolerate an occasional misting in the wintertime, because they, in nature, this is the time of the year that they start putting up their inflorescence, which originate from a mature pseudobulb, which is surrounded by this nest. And here is my seedling of it. And here's the tag, Enobulbon munificum. This is the latest growth. But yeah, you can see how interestingly unique that the growth is. This is something I'm keeping my eye on. If this would actually do something. This is a Valnara Golden Spice, which is Stan 48 crossed with Richard Mueller. Here's my Epi Diffusum. And it does have a new growth. Right back in there at the base. And down here is my cat, Lianthe Chocolate Drop Kodama. One of the spikes is spent, the very first spike, but it's got two more it's working on. Nice and very fragrant. Day into night. Okay. Before I leave this area, I won't miss my Epidendrum parkinsonianum, which is doing really well with putting out the new growths and recovering super duper well for me. Accident. No dance for you know what? I need to just stop. Okay. Dealt with that. No, I didn't. There's another one in there. That. Alright. And here is my Nemoria wallisii. Still growing that new growth. What else? This is my Hulatia. Well, it's a Hulatinia, which is a Buffinia crossed with a Hulatia. Ecuadorian species, but it's a hybrid, it's a cross. But the cross between two primary hybrids. And it's got something coming up. And here are my other Gongoras. And that Stanhopea is down at the other end. Here is my, sorry it's getting a little dark, but this is my Isabelia virginalis. Doing okay. These plants like high humidity and air movement. Now, this is the start of some of my angricoids, and this up here is my Angraecum longus, no, Scott, what is it? Longus guy, which is very nice. It's Longicalcar crossed with Scottianum, and looks like it's giving me a new leaf. Not all that long on this tree fern, and for the winter season, it's going to hang up there with my, this is my Brassavola, or it's Incavola, Femme Fatale. Here up here, this is my cross. It's a primary cross of Sobinicophia, Phalaenopsis, and then also the other Vandaceous type, Phalaenopsis, and it's on the top of my tongue, the tip of my tongue. You know which one it is. But back to angricoids. Here's my Eichlerianum, and I stuck my Biramins, which was bare root, with those two beginnings of inflorescence. It's just sitting here hanging out, not bothering anybody. And over here is my Arangus Comarans, which bloomed last year, and now it's putting up another spike. It actually had two spikes last year. We'll see what it does. And down here are some miniature ones. I think this is Equitans crossed with Leonis. And then here is my Angraecum Joyce Stewart. All of these really need a bit of fungicide just because they get high humidity and lots of fog and good air movement, but the water may at times sit on the leaves, which is not a good thing for it because that's what creates the fungus. Also, I have my Arangus biloba, which actually had a very good summer of growth season, as did my Arangus Pioneer, which is a cross. And I just love those thick, rooted tips that are all over this plant as it resides on this mount. Just love that. Look like candy. And then here is a Mysticidea, and then here is a Campus Central, maybe? No, this is Angracopsis parviflora, and this is recently received, and it actually has 3 spikes on it. I'm pretty sure you can see that pretty good. And then here is a new one. And then here is an Akatsukiana, as well as this is a Akatsukiana, which actually had a very good growth season. Finally put up some roots so that it can go into the chala wood mount, and it gave me lots and lots of new leaves. The more leaves the plant gets, the more flowers. And this is my Arachnopus, you remember that. It had all these spikes on it. And this is my Carnea, Arangus Carnea. This up here, next to the Arachnopus, Arangus Arachnopus, this is Angraecum Gemstar. And then here is Angraecum infundibulare, which is the trifecta of these two, this cousin. And then I have 2 of these Herotianas, Hildebrantii and they're Microtangus, but they're different names. Microtangus Arangus. But anyway, this one is Herotiana, and this one is the other one I can't remember. Anything else I can show you? This is a Gastrocylus. Down here is my Ostrupia muscifera, which had a lot of new growth this growth season. So it should be flowering. This is the Campus Central, I believe. No, this is the Arangus. That. Okay, let me put this back up here. You have to be careful. These are very thin and wiry inflorescence that can easily be damaged. So, and then down here is another, which is my Valley Isle, Arangus Valley Isle, which is a cross. I've had that all summer. And then next to it is Arangus Leo Alba. Over here is my Scottianum, Angraecum Scottianum, which I needed to take care of some fungus issues, so it's been sprayed. Hopefully it will recover. Here's another Gastrocylus here, which is Gastrocylus parva. What does that say? No, it doesn't say parviflora, but there's the name tag. Up here is my, it's my Maxillaria tenuifolia, the Yamada. So, besides the ones that are over here, which I'll get to later, I've pretty much finished up with my Angraecums. I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is my Gigantea that has been repotted up, sort of in the fashion of as if it's mounted. And this is my Peach Bird, BC Peach Bird. Okay, what else can I show you? Here is this, which is Sartorius, not an Angraecum. I don't think it's Arcuata, it's Humboldtiana, I think. And then here's my Distincta, Regus Distincta. So yeah, things are going well. I'm moving some of these down here. And this one is that one that I got from Afri Orchids. It's still doing really well. Here's a root tip right there. And I do have two Angraecum Magdalenis, and there, and then here's the other there. He's like a bit cooler in the fall, winter. And then there's my Compactum, Angraecum Compactum. That's enough of Angraecums. This is my Epidendrum floribundum, which is freaking fragrant, let me tell you. And then I have my very lovely Galliandra, Greenwoodiana, and you can see there's another bud behind it. As I said, these are sequential. And this Angraecum, this is Xerophyllum, this is the Burnham variety. Here's my Pandorata, Silogeny Pandorata. And then here is that beautiful Catasandra. And the spike is kind of going away from where I want it to be, so I'm only allowed to show you the back of the flowers. But there's so many more buds left, and these inflorescents are branching. It's just incredible. Again, sequential. And back there is my other surprise Silogeny, which is multiflora. And here's my Brassavola Bacalis. Still waiting to see it flower. Here is my Cucullata. There's my Perennia up here. And these are some of my crazy arachnos. This is a David Sander here that's putting out roots so that it'll mount to that ceramic. This is a Reginae, Brassavola Reginae that I got at Andy's. And that, which could be, this is the bloom season for epidendrums, not epidendrums, for Cattleyas. That's one of my Copper Queens. And that's a fragrance, Brassavola fragrance. And there's another spike right there. I think this is this Tiny Tim? No, Tom Thumb. Love that color. It's a miniature. And here's my Crestwood, Angraecum Crestwood. And I did say this was Martiana. All right. Let's see here. Going on back. This is another Angraecum that I have no idea. And here is my Angraecum Viguiere, which had a very good summer, put out a few new leaves at the tops, getting some width to it as well. And somewhere there is my Tridactyl. And I think I might have moved it. Anyway, I'll keep my eye out for that because it should not be too far. It is another angracoid type that's vining, and it's a miniature. So oh, here it is over here, and doesn't look like it's doing good at all. And as I picked it up, it lost leaves. So that was my Tridactyl baccata. We'll see. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna cry about it. And my Abia lens, if I haven't said, there's a bud on it. Shut up, Josh, if you're watching. And there's another Angraecum there. Here is Drosophila flagellaris. And here's my Dendrobium luristictum. And here is Angraecum calceolaris that has got 7 inflorescence, and again they are branching stems, and it's just getting closer and closer and closer to putting out the flower, which we will see. And below it is my Eranthes Enrichi, which had a really good growing season as well. I attached the original mount onto this log so that the roots would be able to wander, and that would be more like a forever mount. I've had this for maybe 2 years now, or maybe, yeah, perhaps. And it has fared me well so far. I mean, the roots are still active, and it has continuously given me new leaves. And I am just dying for this to bloom. As I am this calceolaris. I have really struggled with calceolaris over the years, and everybody has struggled with Enrichii. But on the subject of Eranthes, here above is in need of a fungus as well. You know, or maybe I'll just turn up the fan. This is Eranthes neoporii. Never grown this one before, but it's growing wonky. And here are 2 more. This is my Eranthes denticulata, which has a spike or 2 on it, and this is Eranthes intenophora. Both Madagascan species, both like it shady and constant moisture, as do all of these in the same genus. And because of that, they need their fungus. And see, I'm gonna have to put some dragon's blood on that, because that's, and move this, because I know what, I'm gonna move this so that I don't make the habit of watering, and then the water drips down, and the next thing you know, it's in the crown. So it's the better spot is right here, where there isn't nothing except for the spike of the calceolaris, which is easily freed. All right. Love the leaves on this. I think this is a Schilleriana crossed with Gigantea. Maybe. Yeah. And this is a Gigantea crossed with Tetraspis that has been in bloom for a little bit. Nicely fragrant blooms. And really, this little wonky, this is my other wonky, there's the tag, and I'm gonna say it, Copper Queen. And then I have some more Brasophilas here. I think there's Cucullata. Yeah, I know, here's a Cucullata. Let me pick up this. And here's Stanhopea. I think this is Calyx Candida. I don't think I missed much of anything. This is my Epidendrum parkinsonianum. Love my eppies, as you know. This is Barcaria. That did have a little baby growing up. We'll see if it's still there. But it gets dry conditions in the wintertime. In the off season, I should say, rather. And this is my BLC Hamlin's Magic, I think. Well, I know that's what it is, but it's got 3 buds on it. This is my dead Alexandri. Yeah, I'd say that's about it. For right now, at least. And hopefully this pulls through. This is my raniferum, Epidendrum raniferum. Thanks for watching, folks. And stay tuned for more.